Morning everybody, welcome to Vista Ventures. I'm Caleb, thanks for joining me. Today I'm down in Monongahela National Forest, specifically the Dolly Sods Wilderness. This is a place I've been wanting to go for quite some time now, and finally decided this weekend was going to be the time to come down here. Now it's definitely a little chilly here this morning. It's about 20 degrees when I got out of the truck down there. I think it's supposed to warm up to the low 50s, so that'll be nice, but right now I think she's probably about 23 degrees or so. I'm here kind of at where the trailhead starts. Now the parking is actually a little bit weird for this trailhead. It is way down there, good ways, probably I'd say 7/10 of a mile or so from where I am right now. And for the overnight parking, there's a specific area for that, and you do need a special use permit that you get from the visitor center just down the road there off of 32. So keep that in mind, and there's probably spots for about 8 or so cars there if you packed them in pretty tight. But I'm here at the trailhead. It's early November, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm sad that the leaves aren't, it looks like they kind of all got blown off and fell down here early, so I was kind of bummed out about that on the drive down here. But no matter, I think we're still going to have a good time. Just going to do a series of trails, just kind of make my own adventure as I go. I got a tentative plan, but we'll just kind of see how the day goes. This is going to be another solo trip for me. This will be my second solo backpacking trip. Dave had plans and stuff again this weekend, so he wasn't able to go, but the weather looked pretty good down here other than it being cold, so I definitely wanted to take advantage. My pack weight is about 26 pounds. With everything I got, food, water, and all, and base weight's probably about 17-18 pounds with all the extra clothes I brought along just in case it really dips down cold tonight. It's supposed to only get down to like the low 30s, upper 20s, and I got my 20-degree quilt set up, so we should be able to handle that without too much problem. Kinda as I suspected, the trail's been pretty soggy so far. I was just kind of expecting that from this area in general, but we had some pretty bad rains up through here about Thursday this week, Thursday, Friday, so I was kind of figuring some sections this were going to be pretty swampy, but so far they haven't been too bad to get around. Here kind of at the main trail junction from the Blackbird Knob Trailhead. Get here, they got a real nice sign showing you all the trails. So, kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm planning on doing. Hopefully you'll be able to see. So I parked way down here, walked up, and now we're right here at this trailhead. So my plan is I'm going to take Trail 513 down over to Trail 554, and somewhere along here I think is an unmarked trail that takes you up to Lion's Head, so I'm definitely going to look really hard for that. Hopefully after I get done finding Lion's Head, head down and get on this Trail 514, which will take me up along this Red Creek, and depending on the daylight situation and how long it takes me to get there, I don't think this will be a problem at all. I could possibly camp somewhere down in here, but my plan is to get up to this Blackbird Knob Trail, Trail 511, and end up camping somewhere in this vicinity somewhere. Because I think as soon as we get much beyond here, we kind of get into the actual sods themselves, so it'll just kind of be wide open and won't work too well for me in my hammock. So I think it looks like there's a pretty good grove of trees right in here. And then tomorrow, plan is to get up and just take 509 up, and then I think I'm just going to cut over and take 521 up around, and then just take this 524 back down to where I am right now, and then we'll just walk back to the car. And then it looks like from when Dave and I were down in this area the last time at the Seneca Creek backcountry area, it looks like in West Virginia they just designate the trails with these pretty nice signs at all the intersections just pointing you where to go. And then there's no blazing or anything, it's just up to you to stay on the trail from there until you get to another junction. So we got the sign here pointing to Big Stone Coal, Trail 513. That's where we're headed. Well, this isn't what you want to see. This whole trail is pretty well flooded right through here. And since it's you know, probably getting up to a balmy 30 right now, I guess I'm going to try to hug this laurel over here and see if I can't scamper my way around here without getting soaked. If this continues for a long time, I might consider turning around and maybe trying one of the other trails to get down here, but we'll see how she goes. Alright, good news, the trail is cleared up here. That was a real short section there, maybe 150 yards or so, that was completely flooded out. So hopefully that you know, is the last of that for a little while anyway, but definitely much nicer now, because that takes quite a while just hopping from rock to rock to avoid getting completely soaked. I'm sure you guys are probably really digging my bright orange hat. Being as it is fall, I'm not 100% sure whether the Dolly Sods Wilderness is open to access for hunting or not. I'm not sure. I couldn't really tell from the trailhead down there, so I figured rather than be safe than sorry, I just go ahead and wear an orange hat for this trip, and then I got a high-vis vest just kind of draped over the back of my pack. Just in case you didn't believe me on how cold it is, there's some freaking snow in here underneath some of this spruce. I noticed that on the drive in this morning. A couple places along the road had just a real light dusting of snow. It got really cold down in this area last night. I think it was about, the coldest I saw on the drive in was 18 degrees, which is a good bit colder than what I was expecting down here, but I don't think it's going to get that cold tonight again. Well, for the moment, the ecosystem we're in kind of switched from that scrubby laurel thicket stuff we were in. Now we're just in some big pines. This is pretty cool. It's worth pointing out, a couple times so far I've got to sections where there's like little spur trails heading off, and for the most part it seems like they've got these cairns marking where you're actually supposed to go at those locations so far. I've continued to follow everywhere where there's been a cairn, and so far it's kept me on the trail. So definitely pay attention to those. That's a shame you guys missed out on seeing me cross that menagerie of crap there. Kind of come down to where a bunch of trails kind of going every different direction. But it looks like as soon as you get back to this big stream again, you basically need to cross it, and then it looks like we end up crossing it again here after a short while. But I mean, the best place I found, there might be a better spot around, but I didn't see one, is there's like this little island here in the middle with some blowdowns piled up throughout, and I was able to kind of scurry across them with using my trekking poles to support me. So I'm glad that's checked off for the time being. Now we're back on the trail, I believe. What kind of tipped me off was there was a cairn over here on this side of the stream. If it wasn't so cold, it wouldn't be so bad. Getting across maybe right there looks kind of like the main spot, but it's definitely still cold out, so I want to avoid getting in the water if I can help it. Second big stream crossing of the day. I think this might be the last time I got across this guy, but I guess we'll see. It looks like there's some decent rocks going across here right at the main crossing, so I think we'll be able to get across here, hopefully, as long as they're not too shifty without getting wet. This is a really awesome waterfall. Look at this thing. Wow. And there's a nice big pool down there. Yeah, I definitely recommend this Big Stone Coal Trail. It's had some really neat features. Still on Big Stone Coal here. And it's bringing us right along this really big rock outcropping, which is really cool. I think here real soon we're going to be cutting off to the left on that. I think it's Rocky Point Trail, which will take us around, and hopefully we'll be able to find that side trail going up to Lion's Head. Now we're here at the junction of Rocky Point Trail 554 and Big Stone Coal. This is where we're gonna jump off Big Stone Coal and head out this Rocky Point, which will take us out and around Breadth Mountain. If you're using View Ranger, the trail that cuts off to the side here is marked, and they've got two cairns kind of marking where to turn off. So here we're just gonna head up over the hill, and I trust this is the right trail. There's a really nice dry campsite up here, real close to Lion's Head. All kinds of options for both tents and hammocks. Let's make a really nice group spot. Okay, here we go. Nice. Out here at this overlook, I reckon right over there is Lion's Head, where we need to go. All right. Well, this is it. Made it out to Lion's Head. Definitely worth the price of admission. This is awesome. Some one heck of an overlook. It's a little tricky once you get up here to actually navigate down, but for the most part they had cairns to kind of lead you down here. Definitely worth coming up here though. I'm back down on this Rocky Point Trail, and I think maybe this right here is where you'd come back down over. There's like a little, kind of a little loop that takes you up there to Lion's Head. There's kind of a big cairn here. I wasn't 100% sure about coming back down that way I just showed you there, so I just kind of ended up turning around and going back the way I came. It was pretty much a wash, and I didn't feel like screwing around trying to figure out which way to go, since I knew I could get up that way and could then come back down. Continuing to work my way out along this Rocky Point Trail, and it's definitely getting rocky. We were just in some really thick rhododendron. Pretty wild to just pop out into this, which you can actually see for a pretty good ways, and the sun is definitely nice. As cold as it was this morning. I'll flip you guys around so you can see what I'm looking at. So this is just kind of the view from the trail right now. I think we're just kind of down over the side from where we were at up at Lion's Head now. We're just kind of walk out around this point and start making our way upstream. I think that's like the Red Creek Trail. The up on Lion's Head was really awesome. I would highly recommend anybody that's coming down here to Dolly Sods to definitely try to get up there if you can. Being that it was a weekend, there was a good many people up there. A lot of people had the same idea I did. Went up there and stopped for lunch. So I didn't end up getting a whole lot of filming and talking going on up there, but I think we'll still be able to get some really good shots of it for you. Like I said, I highly recommend it. If you're coming down to Dolly Sods, definitely make it a point to try to make it up there, because it is absolutely stunning up there at the top of Lion's Head. Alright, I made it out to the end of Rocky Point Trail, 554. Now I'm on Red Creek Trail, 514. So if you turned and went right as I was traveling down here, it'd take you down to Red Creek. But we're going to go left and start heading upstream towards the Sods. Alright, made it out to the intersection with Brett's Mountain Trail. And we're continuing on Red Creek Trail. And I don't know if it's coming across on camera, if you guys can hear that, but Red Creek is absolutely ripping down there. I just took a small little side trail, real shortly after you cross by the intersection there with Brett's Mountain Trail, and it was definitely worth the trip down here. First view of Red Creek. You can see there's a nice big fire ring and chairs and stuff there. Just make a pretty decent campsite, really. And then you got this awesome view of Red Creek. Here's another pretty nice view of Red Creek right off the trail. I think we're gonna have to go up here and cross like a feeder stream or something to Red Creek here in just a little while. So I'm hoping it isn't ripping near as hard as Red Creek is, or we might be having to do a little wading. Well, sure enough, here's our stream crossing. It doesn't look like it's going to be too bad to get across there, fortunately. Alright, I lied. That was a little sketchy right there, getting from that big rock over to this big rock. There's one little rock pile in there. I was able to move the one rock with my trekking pole and make it a little bit easier, but whew, yeah, it was definitely a little bit dicey. But we're across her now. Alright, as soon as you cross that stream back here, make sure you bear hard to the left. I don't know what I was thinking. The way my map was folded, I thought I needed to go to the right. And there was a huge campsite right in there, so there's lots of little side trails. So I ended up falling off on one of them, but it piddled out, so then I pulled the map out and realized what I did and turned back around. Yeah, there's a bunch of really nice campsites right in this section. I think I'm pretty close to getting up here to Blackbird Knob Trail. So I think there's a nice little spring here I'm gonna filter some water out of, just so that way I'll have some when I get up there. Don't know what the water situation will be like. I'm sure it'll be fine, but I'm just gonna go ahead and filter here anyway. The other thing I'm gonna do while I'm here is I got this dehydrated buffalo chicken that I made here. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of water in it now, so hopefully it'll start rehydrating by the time I get up to camp and get everything set up. I won't have to wait around for like an extra half hour, 40 minutes for it to be ready to eat. Well, it's almost like I'm on the Vermont Long Trail or something now. This is all flooded out and super mucky. Made it this far without getting my feet soaked and all nasty, so hopefully I can tiptoe my way out across here and avoid getting in this slop, because this is pretty nasty stuff. I'm just kind of out in this closed area right now, but again, there's some spruce intermixed in. What I'm banking on is there's going to be somewhere like this up where I'm headed, because I'd like to be able to have it so tomorrow, as soon as the sun comes up, that it's hitting me and I'm not just like tucked in some dark hollow that's just gonna stay frigid for a long time. Right on schedule. Made it here to Blackbird Knob Trailhead. Now I'm just gonna hang a right and head over here, and first nice campsite I see, kind of fits what I'm looking for, I'll pull in and call her a day. Alright, made it to the intersection with Upper Red Creek Trail 509. So hopefully this is it. Just go up here a little piece and hopefully there'll be something decent that I can make work for tonight. Just stopped and turned around and looked back at what I was walking away from, and it's a pretty nice view up here. Real nice. What a nice day. Wow. Alright, it took a lot longer than I was expecting, but did finally find a campsite down here that I think is going to work. Off trail a little bit, which is good. Like that. Kind of on the back side of this little hill, so hopefully that'll offer me a little bit of protection, since that's kind of where the wind seems like it wants to come from at the moment. And I think these two trees right in here are going to work nicely for the hammock. We've got a fire ring there. Wood is fairly plentiful, so I think I'll be able to even have a nice little fire tonight. We've got home sweet home set up for the night. Those of you that might be real keen-eyed might have noticed that this is a different hammock than the one I've been using. This is actually a Dream Hammock Darien. Trying this out. I've heard good things about them, and frankly it was a good bit lighter than my war bonnet. So I'm going to try it out. I'm sure I'm going to miss having the shelf on the war bonnet. And along with that, I'm also trying out a new suspension. This is just some Dyneema straps I got from Myers Hammock Tech. And those combined with the hammock there, I think it cut out like 8 ounces or something compared to my previous setup. So I'm trying this out. This will be my first night in it, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm not expecting any problems. Alright, I got a firewood processing tip. If you're out here like me and don't have a saw, but want to bust up some big stuff. If you find yourself a tree with a nice Y in it like this one over here, you can wedge a long piece down in there and then just apply leverage to the end and bust it off. Allow me to demonstrate. And it helps that the wood's not a little bit green yet like this one was. But you see the point, it still works. Well, look at what I've made. Put my engineering degree to good use here. Made a nice little bench. That's gonna be real nice sitting next to the fire tonight. Got a pretty healthy jag of wood. And the best part about it is this is gonna work out perfect because we're facing nice and open out to the east. So that means as soon as the sun starts to rise in the morning, it'll start warming us up right away. So that's going to be awesome. And we should have a pretty stellar view of the sunrise out through there. Pretty excited about this campsite. There's my buffalo chicken. Looks like it's good and rehydrated. Awesome. All I have to do is warm it up. So tonight I got buffalo chicken, obviously. And I've also got this white cheddar queso, North Sides. This is possibly my favorite North Side. And it's really nice to have on a cold night when you could use a little bit of queso to jalapeno to warm you up. I'm really looking forward to this meal. I am pretty hungry. That was a pretty close deer encounter, wasn't it? Holy crap. They were right in here at spitting distance. And it just kept walking back and forth, back and forth. I mean, they clearly saw me here, but they just weren't concerned. So I'm really doubting that there is any hunting allowed in here, because they were completely, not even caring at all that I was sitting right here 10 feet from them. That was pretty cool. That was really awesome. That's definitely a good sight to end the day on. All right, I think I'm gonna get a fire going here and then start eating. I think the food should be ready. Yeah, this buffalo chicken queso rice is the freaking bomb. Got this nice fire, beautiful moon coming out up there. What more could you ask for? What a great ending to a really great day. I'm really glad I decided to come down here. This has been absolutely awesome so far. Really enjoying myself. Alright guys, I'm about ready to crawl in the hammock and call her a night. This was definitely a really good day. Just, even though we started out super cold, like 20 degrees, after it warmed up there, and the scenery and everything on this, like all the trails I've been on down here in Dolly Sods was just absolutely awesome. I really couldn't be happier the way the day panned out, and was really happy that got up there to Lion's Head and got to see that and have beautiful weather for that, so that was absolutely awesome. Again, all the trails I've been on so far have been really awesome. There was some that had a good bit of water and stuff on it, kind of slowed you down to get around, but the scenery and everything really made it 100% worth it. And then to get to this campsite, you know, right at the, you guys are getting smoked out. All right, the fire kind of blew this way and fogged up the lens, but like I was saying, to get to this campsite and just have it be as perfect as it was right at the end of the day, it was absolutely awesome. So really couldn't have asked for anything more. I think we did about 12 miles total today. I think I got about 7 more to go out tomorrow, so that'll be pretty good. Should be done around lunchtime. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the rest of the Dolly Sods has in store. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Good night. Good morning, everybody. Survived the night pretty good. Only got chilled there a little bit about 3-4 o'clock this morning, but still wasn't too bad. The wind picked up here a little bit, which, you know, kind of made it a little bit colder than what it was there when I went to bed, but still overall not too bad. So it's about 6 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and start breaking camp down, get some breakfast going, and then we'll get back on the trail. Definitely a wild place. Never seen anything quite like this. This is pretty cool. I'm on this 526 trail. I'm gonna go up and hang an immediate left. I think it's trail 521, I think. I don't know, I'd have to check the map. But that'll just kind of skirt me up around, and there's one more trail, I think it's 524 that I'll get on. And then that'll take us back to that main trailhead where we started yesterday. Yep, here we go. This Raven Ridge Trail 521. This is our guy. It's almost like we're out on the Canadian tundra or something. This is wild. Totally different from what we saw yesterday. Unsurprisingly, it's a little windy out. You just look how exposed this is. This is awesome. Here's a pretty nice campsite here up 521. Kind of nestled on the side where the trees get a little bigger, so it offers you a little bit of protection. Then you'd have that pretty sweet view out over the sods there. This would definitely be a nice one. Wood looks a little scarce because I'm sure this is pretty popular, but that view would be worth it. So far this 521 trail has just been changing scenery constantly. On from those open sods to hardwoods. Now we're about to get into some spruce forest here. This has been a really neat trail to start the day off. Here in this spruce thicket, there's a pretty decent campsite right down there. That's kind of what I was looking for last night, but I was still extremely satisfied with the camp I ended up having. Because the other thing with this spruce is it does hold in the cold air for a long time. It takes a long time to warm up. Climbing up this little bit of a hill here. I happen to look over here to the left. Here's a bunch of rocks out there. I'm pretty sure that's where we're headed. Once I get up and get on this 524 trail, I'm pretty sure it bends around and takes us over to those rocks, so that'll be pretty neat. This is it. This is the last trail junction for Rocky Ridge Trail 524. So about 3 miles back to that main trailhead there where they all jut off. Awesome. How's this for a view, huh? All the way around. We'll take this little side trail up and check out this group of boulders. Looks like this is a pretty common attraction. Huh. Look how windswept that is. It's all eroded away. I noticed this trail today has been pretty sandy on this trail we're on right now, which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It's just cut straight through the middle. See why this is a popular pit stop for people. Alright, made it to the intersection of the Blackbird Knob Trail. This is the last one for the day. This will take us back to that main trailhead there where we left yesterday, where that big sign with showing all the trails and everything was. Well guys, I can see the trailhead. Right here's where we turned off yesterday. Awesome. Feels good to be back. Alright guys, that about wraps this one up. I'm on the approach trail, heading back to the parking lot where I left the truck yesterday. Overall, I'd say this was definitely a successful solo trip. Really enjoyed myself. I really can't recommend this area enough. Just so many different aspects and scenery to look at, and different ecosystems, and the trail is constantly changing. This was just an absolutely awesome trip. Now, one thing I would recommend is that definitely use the View Ranger app. I don't usually use it to track my whole trip, but there were a couple times when I got into a few spots where there were a bunch of like side trails that split off and it was hard to tell where to go. I used the View Ranger app, and I can use it without cell service or anything to kind of get myself back on course, and that was definitely crucial. If you don't have that, recommend being aware for cairns. They seem to have them spaced pretty good where those kind of trickier sections were, made it easier to follow. But this was definitely an awesome trip. The trail was a little wet in spots, but not bad. I think I'd definitely recommend this more as a fall hike than a spring one, just because of how much moisture and stuff there was, and probably get pretty soaked in the springtime. But I'm really satisfied with this trip, and I think I'll definitely be back and try to do some of the other trails that I didn't get to. So, as always guys, get outdoors, have fun, and embrace the uphill. Till next time, this is Vista Ventures.